Happy Friday. Y'all made it. You made it. You made it here. Woo! Okay, you are about to have a super fun session with the Queen of Joy and our special awesome guest, Candace, the Dream Doula. And woo! All right, guys, get your lunch ready. It's noon where most people might be, and just sit down with us. Get in the chat. We'll put what you say on screen if I see it. I see one right here. Carrie has not had caffeine or coffee in 594 days. Heaven bless you. Like, I don't think I could go 5 hours.
I've got my coffee cup down there.
But yay, Carrie. Woo, woo. All right. So put things in the comments. We'll get you on the screen. This is an interactive show. It is unscripted, as you know. You will never, ever know when the Queen of Joy will say something completely crazy. And roughly, I don't know either. So, like, let's just hang out, have some fun, and let me bring you some more joy today. Because let's face it, everyone needs more joy. I don't care how joyful you are, I need more joy. And that's why I bring on the most amazing guests who give me more joy. Woo! I know it might seem impossible that I could want more joy, but I do. Okay. Every day's a party. Okay. So, with my guest, first I want to tell you her name is Candace Taylor, and follow her on LinkedIn. And I want to tell you a little bit how I met her after she tells you who she is. Give a little brief description about who you are and what you do and your amazing company that I love because they're so culture focused.
Thanks so much for having me, Cindy. I am so excited about this. This is an amazing show, and I love your mission of spreading joy. Joy is one of my core values. So the second I saw that was your mission to spread more joy in the world, I was like, that is my kind of people.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I am Candace Taylor. I call myself Candace the Dream Doula. That is my hybrid professional identity, and it's the intersection of human connection. It's the intersection of movement. It's the intersection of coaching and consulting, and really using my innate gifts to serve other people. And then professionally, I am an employee experience specialist at Small Door Veterinary. So I work for a veterinary network of 10 veterinary practices around the East Coast. We're growing, which is really exciting. We're going to be open. We're going to be doubling in size over the next year, probably. And so it's amazing to be able to serve that community using my dream doula identity, of course, but in a role that's very specifically looking at employee well-being, employee joy, and employee success, which is amazing.
It is amazing. And I want to dive into that in a minute, but I want to tell everyone how I found you on LinkedIn. And it was a long time ago. Right? It was really
Yeah, it was.
friends a while. So I reached out to Candace because in her tagline, it said it said cartwheels and it also said doula. And most people don't know this, but I do love to do cartwheels. When I was younger, I was really into gymnastics, walking on my hands, everything under the sun. So cartwheels really resonate with me. I do still occasionally attempt them, but I'm like scared. Uh, but another thing you might not know about me is my ultimate dream when I was younger was to deliver babies. And so that was another reason why I reached out to Candace because I was like, I'm looking for kind of second career. Tell me about being a doula. And then I found out she actually wasn't delivering babies, but she was doing cartwheels with me. I love those pictures too. So that's how we met. I just resonated with her tagline. I'm sure there's people out there that reach out to people also based on, oh, like I resonate with that. Hopefully, there's people today that will reach out to both of us that need more joy or something that we say just inspires you or makes you feel happy. Let us know in the comments. So, back to your original thing about let's talk about your how your company's small door vet, which I've actually ended up doing an event for like a year ago, which was so phenomenal. Your team, I will say, and I've worked with hundreds of teams and done so many events, but your team stood out. And I could always tell the relationship, about how people relate to each other. They were fun, they were laughing, they were authentic, they were having just a good time. You know, it's the leader. There's no other way about that. The leader affects how the team runs, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, do you want
And
to speak
in fact,
about
we had one
that?
of our co-founders on that team event, and I think that speaks volumes, right? Like, it's very easy for senior leaders in companies to, miss out on the
Yes,
team events that are being hosted. And the fact that we had our co-founder and president of our company making candles with us, on a Monday night really speaks volumes to the
so
culture in our community for
that
sure.
they cared enough to show up
Yep.
and participate, and like that really shows their heart for their people.
Very excitedly. And he
Going to
references that event all the time. He loved it.
really, anybody can give a credit card right to an event and be like, fine, do it, Candace, right?
Yep. Yep.
But that shows the support level is just so different, and the employees feel it, right?
We certainly do. Yeah.
Yeah, you are so blessed that you found that company, honestly. And let's try to make more companies realize the importance of putting your people first, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's not easy to do. And one of our core values at Small Door is to celebrate our successes and own our mistakes. And I think that the fact that we do own our mistakes and we do say, okay, we're not going to, knock everything out of the park, but we'll iterate on it and we'll find a success in it to celebrate. That really is what helps us the most to put our people first.
that is amazing. So they also teach you to celebrate small wins, and they're walking the walk. That's what's so different. Like, companies have core value and mission statements. The people could maybe recite them if they had to on a job interview or something, but are they really walking in those? No,
Yep.
but your company actually is. It's just that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, because I've been amazed. We've talked over the last few months about your company. I'm just amazed because it actually stands out among the others. They really do walk the walk, show they care about their employees, celebrate those wins, and just keep pushing forward. Um, and that's just amazing. So, tell us about your particular like role and how you do that with your particular team, how you infuse joy in
Absolutely.
your particular team.
You got it. So, my role is called the Employee Experience Specialist. It's within our people operations team, so HR. And, HR is traditionally a very like cut and dry, it's not a place where people are, or a team that people are like super excited when they think about it. And what another thing that really distinguishes Small Door is the way that we're growing our people operations team. We're doing it so that it actually serves the people and the employees that work at our company. And so, I don't know if you know this, but the veterinary industry has very high statistics for suicide, for mental health issues. It's very prevalent in the community. And so, as we were building out the people ops teams, or as Small Door was building out the people ops team, they wanted to prioritize a role that would really look at how can we support the health, well-being of our employees, not just physically, right? Obviously, we offer health insurance and dental insurance and those
Right.
standard benefits, but their mental health and their day-to-day experience. I'm actually designing a training for our team on burnout prevention and so working collaboratively through hard circumstances at work. So we're really
Right.
looking at like diving in what's the day-to-day experience of our teams and how can we support them and enhance that day-to-day experience as much as possible.
I love that. I always say how, just like you and I, when we show up to work, we're at work, but that's just really a small portion of who we are, right? Like, what about everything that happened before you walked out the door in the morning, went to work, right? We are filled with different phone calls that come in, people we're supporting, different things are happening in our lives. So are our employees, right? They show up at work with so much on their mind, and it's not all work, but it actually affects work. So
Yep.
we have to address that. We cannot sweep it under the rug and think it's going to go away. It is not going anywhere.
It's not. Especially when work takes up so much of our time, right? We have families, we have loved ones, we have relationships, we have other interests and passions. And we have to squeeze that all in the remainder of our day. We allocate so much time to work. And so I think it's a disservice to our employees and to our communities to say, shut off the rest of yourself when
Right.
you've already sacrificed one of your greatest resources, which is time to dedicate to, driving toward the mission and serving the community.
Right.
I think we have to honor the identities and the experiences and the stories of our employees, given
Absolutely.
the fact that they've sacrificed so much to be there and to support the efforts that we're working toward.
And when employers do that, they will get what they really want in return, the revenue. They really will see it,
Yes,
but they have to trust to put the needs of the employees first, honestly, because that's what
absolutely,
drives everything. But
absolutely.
I don't think everyone believes that yet, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's really beautiful, right? Like I said, nobody's perfect. Our leadership team is always thinking about how we can grow. We do pulse surveys all year long to get data from our teams, and we are willing to receive, constructive criticism. It comes. I just saw 1111, by the way, for our live experience, which is awesome. So we get this constructive criticism, and we're like, okay, let's go. What can we do with this? How can we grow? How can we utilize this information to improve our communities? And I think it's just so important. Meanwhile, our practices are doing so well in terms of bringing in revenue for the business and the quality of care they're providing to our pet patients. So
Right? It's
it
winning.
serves us to take in that insight and to get the feedback, even if it's hard for us in the moment. It allows us to improve and become better for them so that they can continue to do the amazing work that they do day in and day out.
That's amazing. It just provides growth and opportunities, which is
Absolutely.
that is awesome. One thing you mentioned earlier that I wanted to circle back to was I love how your company celebrates not only the wins, but they allow you to be your authentic self. Like, I was so happy that you came in that orange hat and your yellow glasses because it's like we are like twin souls. Like
Yes, we are.
we are just going to be us all day long and twice on Sundays, right? So I love that your company gets to really allows it and celebrates it more than allows.
Yeah. I mean, I am at work right now, right? Like I work from home on Fridays, and our team was super excited when I told them, I'm going on a podcast on LinkedIn and I'm going to be able to share a little bit about the work that we're doing and my role. And they were like, that's amazing. A podcast. Can't wait to hear it. And so it feels really exciting that my team celebrates me. And I think LinkedIn is actually an amazing way that they've celebrated me. I have been very active on LinkedIn over the past 2 years, and I love this platform. It's like my favorite social media platform.
Absolutely.
And, our head of our VP of growth marketing came to me and was like, I love your brand voice. I love the posts that you're doing. It would be awesome to have your support with LinkedIn. And then the CEO of our company went to my manager and was like, do you think Candace has a little bit of bandwidth in her schedule to do some support with LinkedIn? And so in March, I took over Small Doors LinkedIn and started to manage it. And since then, I've literally tripled our follower count
Amazing.
using my brand voice, using the things that I've learned, and being my authentic self in alignment with our company values and
Right.
things of that nature and our company goals. But they celebrated that, and they made space for me to use my gifts, and it's benefited. It's amazing.
Benefited everyone.
Yep.
I think companies have fear, right? It must be a fear that why they don't want their employees to get on LinkedIn and have a brand voice when they don't see the value in that, when it's actually so super helpful for market share, for retention.
Yep.
People want to stay with companies that celebrate them, that they can be their authentic self. There are very few companies that
Yeah.
allow that. I see it all the time on LinkedIn. People saying, "Oh, my boss said take that down," and things like that. Listen, I'm too old for someone to tell me that.
I've had that experience in my career, and honestly, I remember when it was like LinkedIn was written on my one-on-one agenda, and I got scared because I've had a boss come to me and say, can you take down this post that you shared in the past? And
Right?
so I had this workplace trauma associated with it. But I
Yes.
think what's powerful is when you allow your employees to do it, and you walk the journey with them and you celebrate their posts and you acknowledge their posts and you kind of show them the way, you actually can shape the way that they share it ultimately, right? And you can kind of create guardrails that support your business.
I love that.
And so I think if you're actually intentional about it, you end up getting more out of it than you think you will.
That is so brilliant, honestly. I love how you phrased it with the guardrails and the intentionality around it. Um,
But I'll tell
it's
you this, I've had a number of, potential candidates for small door openings find my profile, see that I'm a small door employee, and say, I want to work at small door because of that.
Me
I've
too.
had so right? So it's huge for companies to be able to do this.
It's so true. You because you look at who works there and you could resonate with those people. You could tell right away of like, oh, that's my fit or not, right?
Yep.
And that's also why you probably have a really strong culture is because you're attracting what you are, right?
Yes.
Which
Yes. Our team is the absolute best.
I know.
We hire for expertise, but we also hire for humanity, and I think it's really beautiful when you get those two things together, and that's just the standard of your organization. It's magical. I love my colleagues; they're just the absolute best.
They really are. I've met them. And I hope to do another team event too. So let me ask you, how often do you do events for your team?
I host at least one event every single month.
Oh, that's a lot.
Depending on the time of the year, there's more. So right now, today is actually the first day of National Hispanic Heritage Month, and so we've got programming all month long. I'm doing 4 events. We'll have Spanish conversations in the afternoon where we teach each other medical language in Spanish for the month. I'm
I
going to do
love
a Latin jams dance fitness class on
Yes.
Monday. We're gonna have a loteria night at the end of the month, which is the like Latino version of bingo, which I'm super excited about. So lots
And you
going on
planned all
in this
those,
next
right?
month.
That
Yeah,
is Candace planned.
that's
Amazing.
all Candace planned. Yeah, and we have a culture committee, so I gather the committee and we brainstorm together, and we've got affinity groups, and so we source ideas from our affinity groups and our employee resource groups pitch in as well as we
Amazing.
scale those. So it's really a collaborative effort, but
It sure
um,
is.
I'm kind of the driving force behind it all,
Yes.
making sure that it
They got the
happens.
right person driving that car.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
I love it. Um, so I just read this trend report just yesterday, and it just made me think of you. So joy, and they called it the joy economy, is now the
Mm,
thing. Okay. And one
mm,
of the thing, of course, right? One of the things in there they talked about was experiences that people want experiences, and a lot of them want ones that relate to kind of the childlike stuff that reason why I connected with you originally, like the cartwheels and like people want to connect back to their inner child,
yeah.
which is where the joy stems from, right? Before the
Yes.
world got a hold of us and told us, like, oh, you're weird, like, could give a rat's, you know what?
Same.
I know. I think I say that at least once a day. I wish more people would catch on to that. Y'all, if you remember one thing today, it's this: do not put any energy into what anyone might or might not think about you because you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. Stay in your own lane. Put your own energy into what you're doing to better yourself.
Yeah. I always tell my clients, people are so self-centered. The thought they have that's negative about you is so fleeting, and you'll spend all of your days, all of your nights thinking about it, and they'll think it, tell you it, and then move on and
Right,
never remember that they even said it. So
right.
don't invest your energy in that at all.
Absolutely not. And what you put out there in the world comes back to you. I am living proof of that. The more joy I give out, the more it bounces back at me. Now,
Yes.
that also works for negative people. So you've seen them, the ones that say, why does everything bad keep happening to me?
You're like,
Right? You know who those people are, right? They're attracting that. They're putting out those vibes, and it's just one thing after another. So be nice to yourself, put positive vibes out, smile at people. It's the least you can do to better humanity is smile. And I will say, I have seen this time and time again that people will say a smile saved their life. that they
Mm.
were going through a really rocky time. They were thinking about ending their life, and something happened in a blink second. Like someone smiled, someone reached out to them on text, a phone call. That's why I am so adamant about check on 3 people a day. We cannot get that message out there enough. That one of those times you're saving someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And I think, that's another reason why I'm so proud of the role that I have at Small Door and beyond, right? Like that's who I am as a coach and a consultant. In fact, like I call myself a psychic strategist because I feel when people need the message, and people tell me all the time, Candace, how did you know that I needed to hear from you? Or you sent me that voice memo at the exact right time.
oh
But when
yeah,
I think about Small Door, right, and that there's a dedicated person, I have a whole there's a whole salary attached to me being a force of joy and a force of encouragement in our community. That is revolutionary.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's a big deal.
Uh, if we could take what your company's doing and you and multiply it in all the companies, like people would go to work excited to work. I mean,
Yeah.
everything could change. It's just amazing. So let me ask you one final question. I always ask everybody before we end the show is there's someone watching at some point and they're just not feeling joyful today. They like need more joy in their life right now.
Mhm.
You and I have been there.
Yep.
Um, what can we give them as a little bit of advice today?
Absolutely. Joy is an embodied experience. If you're not experiencing joy, you need to move into joy. And there are so many different ways that you can do that. This hat is an example of me moving into joy. I wanted to
Yes,
amplify the sense of joy in my life. I put on a hat,
yes,
immediately my mood is brighter. Another thing that I do regularly is just move. Put on a song that I
yes.
love, dance, move my body. Even if you're not a good dancer,
No need
your body doesn't know that though, right? So if you just get up and move, your body will experience the joy, it will experience the release. You'll get all
yes,
of those helpful hormones moving in your
yes,
being, and it will literally help you cultivate joy. So get in motion.
yes, 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 yes. That was the most perfect, beautiful message. And hopefully, someone will take that, receive it, and do something with it. And they will have more joy today, this second. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the More Joy podcast with Candace Taylor. She's amazing. Follow her company, Small Door, and have a beautiful weekend. Mwah. Bye, friends.